So there's not really a big agenda for today's Orchestrator Weekly. Anyway, welcome to today's Orchestrator Weekly. So topics that came up last week. We had a discussion about the Orchestrator CLI in, I think, last Thursday's stand-up. And yeah, right now there are basically two ways to create new services or apply services. One is to do it via parameters like Ceph ort apply NFS minus minus pool or minus minus namespace using parameters. And the other one is using Ceph ort apply minus E and then having a cluster CLI, which is essential for having a day one workflow, basically. So there is right now a second way to just do Ceph ort apply NFS minus E nfs.yaml. And that's kind of super furious. And the idea was just to remove it for next patch. I think, Mike, you already have a pull request out there that does it, right?
I do, yeah. And I think the idea is to basically use the spec wherever possible and drop the parameters, but not intermingle them. Because in the former case, you could do something like NFS minus minus pool and then minus I a spec. And then we'd have to set a precedence and rectify if they're in both places. So this just simplifies the CLI. We either do a spec or we do parameters.
Mm. And I think no one actually uses Ceph ort apply and then the name and then minus I. I think no one really makes use of it because it's just duplicated and it's not documented. Okay. Any major thoughts on removing that minus I parameter for these special parameter versions of apply? Okay, then I think we're good to go. So Yuri or Abhishek, Josh, do you know when 15.2.2 is supposed to be out? Is it today or is it going to be this week?
I guess this week sometime. Not sure which day in particular.
Okay, then let's merge that next backporting batch after 15.2.2 is out, so we can then create a next batch. Is there anything else we can discuss today? Islands. Josh, how is CSNAT going? Did you have time to have a look at it?
Unfortunately, I haven't had time the last few weeks, so I'm hoping to get back to it soon.
Okay. So I think we have a bunch of iSCSI pull requests that are still out there. I think as soon as that's out, I think we can actually add it to the changelog that we've added iSCSI support to Ceph ADM. I think that's for 15.2.3 or something like that, however it is going to be named. I think that's going to be a huge step. It's kind of into the 15.2.2 already, but not really in a user-friendly way. So I would at least skip the announcement of iSCSI for that version. So Miguel, how's Rook going? I think you're working on the integration of the orchestrator tests into the Rook CI, right? Is it still open?
Yes. Well, there is a pull request opened for a long time, okay, and where we have been discuss the approach, okay. I think that is almost done, okay. I think that it will be merged this week, okay, and it's a starting point just to start to add the rest of the AP endpoints that we have in the orchestrator, okay? Basically, in this moment, is creating the cluster and checking that the OSD is possible to create an OSD, and is ready to start working with testing services, okay? Testing functionality. And in this moment, I think that I have started to work with the HA proxy for RGW. I have started trying to make very easy to set up a cluster of virtual machines with running a Ceph cluster installed with using Ceph ADM. I think that is almost done. I think that probably I will share with the rest of the people the way that I'm doing that, because I think that it's very easy to set up a cluster using this method. It's basically you need 2 commands and wait 5 minutes, and you have 3 virtual machines with a basic cluster running. Okay, this is all for my part.
Okay. Any other topics for today?
I guess one thing we discussed around CDM time was the use of Ceph ADM in Topology for testing and getting it more widespread. Has there been any progress or plans around doing that so far? Or that's still to be done.
I think Varsha is looking into adding some CephFS tests to the Ceph ADM suite.
Okay, cool. That's a good step.
One thing that is really missing is LGW integration into the Ceph ADM suite. One other thing that really bothers me is the dashboard. Right now, the dashboard uses some kind of mock orchestrator, the test orchestrator, basically, that does nothing. And all the dashboard tests or the dashboard integration into the orchestrator interface are using the test orchestrator, which really does not make sense for tautology, right? So I would like to have the dashboard actually making use of Ceph ADM and then actually running dashboard tests against the real Ceph ADM cluster, deploying services, removing services, etc. But yeah, I don't have actually any time to work on that right now because I'm full with Ceph ADM stuff right now. So that's a thing I would like to have, but I personally don't have time to work on it.
Sure, understood. I agree that dashboard tests would be very important in the future.
Yeah. One other thing is that Gregorius is right now working on having a Ceph salt integration into upstream tautology, which is going to further make sure that things are working properly. I think that's going to be cool. There was a critical bug for RGW that the user ID was dropped too soon before acquiring the port, the HTTPS port. That would have been caught if we had a LGW test in Ceph ADM because we've encountered that problem. It just needs someone to actually work on the LGW test for Ceph ADM.
makes sense. Maybe we can talk to the different teams and see if we can find somebody to work on that Ceph ADM integration with testing for each component.
Mm. There was already a pull request from Sage out there, I think 2 months ago or 2.5 months ago, and it didn't work out that well at that time. So as things are now a bit more stable in Ceph ADM, I think that would be a good time to resurrect that pull request.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I'm a bit out of time right now doing that. Well, let's write it into the minutes. Distributor. Yeah, that's about it for now, at least regarding the current state of tautology. We already still have plenty of tests in tautology, but yeah, it's still a lot of things that would be great to have. In general, if any other component would like to make use of the Ceph ADM task in tautology, that would be super awesome, right? It's supposed to be kind of a drop-in replacement for the Ceph task.
Yeah, exactly. So
Especially
maybe it's worth trying with something and just seeing how what errors pop up or what other unexpected things might happen.
Mm-hmm. So if basically any component can make use of the Ceph ADM task, right?
Yep. Yeah, I guess what I'm hoping to get to by specific would be like the full development tests release cycle all being possible with the Ceph ADM. So once you have like C start working well and all the integration working well with the different various components, then we have a full development environment and a full test cycle that's actually done with the same mechanism that real users use.
Yeah. What about Ceph deploy? I think there are still a bunch of Ceph deploy tasks in tautology.
There's a separate suite that uses it, but it's not actually used by most of the tasks. It's not really supported at this point, or I'm not even sure if it works with Octopus at this right now. So there's no need to worry about replacing it.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts about tautology for Ceph ADM except for actually making use of it more?
That was the main one. I think I'd get more detailed thoughts. I'd have to look into what the existing things do more detail. Like the latest thing I see is the roleless mode that Sage added, which means that you don't need to worry about exactly which host a given daemon runs on.
Yeah. I think the roleless mode is the only one that really makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. It might just take some adjustment to some existing tests to still work with that mode. The upgrade tests in particular have some reliance on which daemons are co-located in, so that you upgrade some and not the others.
Mm.
Although with Ceph ADM, that'll be easier anyway, since they're running independently.
Yeah. And they're independently upgraded.
Yes.
Regarding upgrade, I've already filled a bug regarding the upgrade from Octopus to Pacific. So actually, Ceph ADM found a bug in Bluestone already, which is good.
Nice. Igor's already fixed it, I think, so process is working.
Yes. Bluestone. That's this one here. Okay. Anything else? If not, then thanks for the very short weekly Sync call. And yes, next week.
Thanks. See ya.
Yep, bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.